Hey everyone, this is Lance with the Rockin' R Ranch, and today I want to tell you about our newest purchase on the farm here. We got a 2019 John Deere 3025E. We've had this tractor for about a month now, and we've put 22.6 hours on it so far. And I just wanted to do a little video to talk a little bit about it and some of the things we like. There's a few little nitpicky things that I don't like on it, but nothing that was big enough to keep me from getting it. So when we were looking for a tractor, there were a few things I knew we needed. This is going to be mainly here at our house taking care of our 5 acres, so we do have a pasture behind us. It's mostly Bahia grass, and we bush hog it and have a few other odd and end projects that we take care of, but this 5 acres is mainly what this tractor is for. I will be using it at our hay farm and the family farm in Prescott a little bit, and using it to rake hay and do some other things. But most of the time it's going to spend its time here on our 5 acres, so we didn't need much. I did price a Kubota and a Deere because those are the 2 main dealers that we have here in town. I don't have to drive very far, so I wasn't interested in looking at some of the other brands such as New Holland or Mahindra or some of those other brands. We knew we wanted to stick with either Deere or Kubota. Had dealers here local, so that narrowed down the choices. I did price the Kubota L2501, and at the end of the day, the package deal that we got the tractor with the bucket, the pallet forks, and we've got a 60-inch bush hog. And that was the package deal that I had priced by both dealers, and the Kubota package deal came out to roughly $3,000 more, so that made it real easy. We decided to go ahead and go with the Deere, and I'll go ahead and tell you about a few of the pros with that. So main selling point there was the price was a big one for us. Deere, we didn't have any trouble there. They took care of us. That price beat the Kubota by a long shot. And obviously the name brand, John Deere's been in business for a long time, great reputation, great equipment. They're not going anywhere, so we didn't have anything to worry about there. We have had bad experiences with some other brands. We've had a Mahindra at the hay farm and had some bad experiences with it. So going with a good name brand like Deere was a good choice for us. Another big selling point for me on this was the 25 horse. I used to use a 26 horsepower tractor on one of the farms that I grew up on. I used it all the time and I knew what it was capable of, so I knew this size was good for us. And at this size, this tractor does not have a DPF filter or any kind of regen system on it, and that was a big selling point as well. Nothing to worry about going bad and clogging up and having to replace in the future. Just a real simple Yanmar 3-cylinder diesel engine at 25 horsepower. And also I priced the 32 and the 38 horsepower John Deere's in this same size, and when you jump up into the 32 horse, there is a pretty good price difference. So the dealer that we bought this from had quite a few 2019 carryover models, so we were able to get the 19 at a pretty big discount over what the same thing in the 2020 model, which there were no differences from 19 to 20, no changes in them. So we got a pretty good deal there. Some of the other things I really like about this tractor, the front end loader on this thing, it's been phenomenal so far. The hydraulic speed and the cycle speed of this loader is incredible, and I will demonstrate that later, as well as the John Deere quick attach system. I'm used to skid steer quick attach on a lot of bigger tractors, and it can be a lot more difficult to use, but this system is very simple. And as far as buying attachments, there's a lot of other channels that have discussed this. I know GoodWorks Tractors has a lot of videos talking about how people want to say the skid steer quick attachments are cheaper. From what I've seen online, that's not true. We can get just about anything we need for this system for basically the same price as the skid steer quick attach, so that wasn't a factor for us. One of the other big selling points on this is this tractor is very easy to use. I asked my wife what her favorite thing about it was, and she told me it's really easy to use and easy to drive. This one has the twin touch pedals on it, and I personally like that a whole lot better than the Kubota treadle pedal. I've spent quite a bit of time on both, and I just don't like the treadle pedal. I can't get used to leaning my foot back and forth to go forward and reverse. It's just, to me, it's not as natural of a feeling, but again, that's just a personal preference. So those are some of the things that I really like. We did get the 5-foot bush hog with this tractor. In reading reviews and doing research before I bought it, one of the biggest complaints that people had about this tractor was just saying that it didn't have enough horsepower to run a 5-foot bush hog. Well, so far that has not been my experience. When we first got it a month ago, our pasture back here, most of the grass out there was 4 and 5 feet tall because we didn't have a tractor here and we hadn't been able to mow it since March was the last time I had a tractor up here to mow it. So it's been growing for the last 2 or 3 months and it's got very tall. I did have to go kind of slow in some real thick spots, and the tractor bogged down a little bit from time to time in some real thick bahia grass. But overall, it did excellent. I have no complaints about it. So I can't complain about the power at all. It's plenty for everything we need. And also, the loader and the lift capacities on this tractor are rated the exact same whether you get the 25 horse or you step up to the 32 or the 38 horse. So getting a bigger one was not going to get me any more loader lift strength. So this one does everything we need it to do, and I've been real happy with it so far. So on that note, just a few little things that I guess you could call them cons on this tractor, but they really haven't been an issue for me. One of those is the fixed mount loaders. Again, I'm used to our bigger tractors on the farm, and you can remove the loaders on them, and I like to do that when we're going to be bush hogging a lot or cutting hay or something where I just don't need the loader on there. It's handy to remove it, but this quick attach system tucks in really tight and close to the front of the tractor, so when you take off your pallet forks or your bucket, it's really not a big deal. It's really not in the way, and it's good to have the ballast weight on here when you're carrying something like the bush hog. So that's not a big deal to me. The other thing that's kind of an issue that I've run into so far is the lifting strength of this loader. I have reached the limits of it already several times. We cut up a big tree at the farm and figured out what we could and couldn't lift, but part of that I blame on our pallet forks. So these are extra heavy duty 48-inch pallet forks, and they're actually oversized pallet forks for what I would get if I was going to buy this again, or what I would recommend to somebody else getting a John Deere 3E series. We got the 48-inch pallet forks because the dealer we bought it from didn't have any 42s in stock, and they don't actually offer a 36 is what he told me for these tractors. I wanted the 42s and I wanted them on a smaller frame, but this is what he had, and he gave them to us cheaper than he could get the other ones that we would have to wait longer time period for. So they work for now, but with the longer pallet forks, I end up trying to pick up more than I should, and you can find the limits of this loader. I think it's rated to lift 1,200 pounds at the pin, but with this set of forks on here, I think the frame and these 48-inch forks weigh about 350 pounds, so that kind of significantly takes down from what you can actually lift with this loader. So that's probably my biggest con with this one, is these oversized pallet forks. I think they're just a little bit too big for it, and I may consider getting some smaller, like Titan attachment, the smaller frame to mount these forks on at some point in the future that doesn't weigh as much. But other than that, I've been very pleased with the tractor, very happy with it so far. Haven't had any problems from it or with it so far, other than today when I went to crank it. I did have a hose that was a little bit loose and leaked a little bit of hydraulic hose, so I got a crescent wrench and tightened that right up. Other than that, have not had a single problem with the tractor. It runs great and it does everything we've asked it to do so far. So if you're on the fence about whether a 25 horse can do what you need to do, for us so far it's done everything we needed to do, including running that 5-foot bush hog that so many people said it wouldn't do. It does it great for everything we need. So that's all I've got to say. I'm going to show a few more of the features, like cycling the loader, and some of the things on the dashboard on this tractor, and the gauges and things as well. Alright, now I want to demonstrate how quickly this tractor cycles through the hydraulics. It has very quick hydraulics on it, and the loader functions very quick. Shows you it has engine hours. As you can see, we've got 22.6 hours, and it has a little button right here you can cycle through, and it will show you your vehicle moving hours, and it also shows you your PTO hours, and I really like that. And when you turn the PTO on this tractor, which I'm going to go ahead and do, it shows you your PTO speed, and as we speed up the bush hog, you can monitor how fast it's spinning while you're cutting in the field. So one of my favorite things about this tractor is the John Deere quick attach system on it. I come from a farming background, so I'm used to skid steer quick attach on a lot of bigger tractors, and it can be difficult to use when you're sitting in the seat of a 75 or 80 horse cab tractor. It's hard to see your quick attach down at the base, but this John Deere quick attach system on these small tractors is very easy to use, and I want to demonstrate that. You just undo the pins and you can drop whatever attachment you have and then reattach to your new one, and it's a very simple and easy process, and it's very easy to see from the seat of this tractor. So I'll demonstrate that now. Just like that, we're hooked up and ready to go. So just to add, there was a few things that I missed that I really like about this tractor that may be a little different from some of the others, or different from the previous models on this. Again, this is a 2019 model, so it's a little bit different than the 3025 when it first came out. And I think they changed in 18. One of those being the fuel tank on the back. I've used several of the smaller tractors with the fuel tank on the hood, and I really don't like it. You end up spilling fuel all over the hood, and you got to clean that up because that can be dangerous if you just leave diesel fuel all over your hood and above a hot engine. So I really like it on the back. The location of the fuel gauge is not an issue for me. I'd like it if it was on the dashboard, but again, it doesn't bother me. It's not an issue that it's on the back. One of the other things that I really like about this tractor that's completely new to me is this combination brake pedal differential pedal. I really like that. It's really easy to use versus the differential lock pedals that are on most tractors that you're going to have to stomp down with your left foot, your left heel, that's up next to kind of under the seat. This pedal is really nice because it's real easy to use when you're working in the field and with the loader, and one tire starts to slip. You can just step on that real quick and get better traction. So that's something I really like about it. Another feature that I really like is the PTO system on this tractor. Since this tractor doesn't have a clutch like Kubota and some of the other brands, the PTO will stay on when you turn it on all the time. It doesn't disengage when you put it in reverse. It just stays on, and I really like that. And you don't have to use a clutch to engage it. It has its own clutch in there that turns it on and off. So that's really nice because I do a lot of forward and backwards when I'm bush hogging around trees in the pasture and around fences and that kind of thing. So I like that it just stays on constantly. It's a very good system. So I really like the PTO system, really like the fuel tank location on the back. That's easy to fill up. And this differential lock / brake pedal, that's a new one to me, but I really like it.